AFFINITY 3.2 has just been released and there's addition of a new tool. Oh, two new tools in fact. Basically they're the same tool, but let's just go through it. This is for PC or Mac. And the key thing is to go to your Vector Studio. Now, if you've changed your Vector Studio at any point before, it will pop up and say, do you want the new Vector Studio? I would say go for that. Now, you should still be able to access the tool at some point. But the tool is, once you've actually gone into it, Vector Studio, just go over here and here it is, Vector Blob Brush Tool. Just select that. You can see there's also an erase. Now, I'm just going to go and show you that later, but let's just go Vector Blob Brush Tool. And let's just, actually before going any further, remove that one. Because first thing to do with the blob brush is you can just apply it like that. Just a straight line like that. Now you can see it's obviously using the current stroke and the current fill, which was red and obviously black. Doesn't have to be that, of course, you can change it to anything you want. So you just double click that, turn it, make it white, blue, etc. All it's doing is using the current fill and the current stroke. Now, what you can do, you can go here to the move tool. You can, of course, just change it here as well. So you might not want, say, 12, just put it down to 0 if you just want just the fill itself. Okay. What you can do is you can go back to the Vector Blob brush. Now, you can't change the size of this. Once you've drawn it, that's it. Obviously, you can undo, etc., etc. But once you've drawn it, you've got your line. But you, of course, can tweak it. You can always go to your node tool. So you go to the node tool here, and all it is just a curve, and you can modify those nodes. And you can just drag and resize that and make a slightly more interesting design than that basic line. So let's just undo that now, and again go back here to the Vector Blob Brush tool. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I'm going to say it a few times. You can now change this size here, and again, like I say, it doesn't affect this. But what you can then do is now apply it again, and you still see that thin line, so it doesn't give a clue actually it's going to be a bigger thing, but there it is. So you get a bigger one there. Now, there is, I think, a minor issue at the start point whenever you do a blob brush. I think I've seen it in other applications as well. They've got blob brushes. It always seems to create sort of slight bulbous at the start or end, so it's never totally perfect, I don't think. You can hold down the shift and you'll get a straight line, and then you can see obviously you get a far more perfect design. But if you try and draw it freehand, quite often it seems to always just have slight imperfections at that. So you can see again, you've got that little bump there. And again, you could use the node tool to manipulate it to produce a slightly better line than that. There's a few other settings. You can see you've got stabilizers, so you can actually just go here and set it to 1 and just apply like that. Or you can push it up, and let's just push it to 128 and draw a line like that. And you can see it's not very stable when it's going down. You've got lots of jitter there as it's going through. Not great, but it may be exactly what you want. If you don't want a smooth line, you want a slightly more noisy line. You'll notice here you've got a controller, you've got automatic pressure, etc. But as mentioned, it's a mouse. Oh, I probably didn't mention it was a mouse, but it's a mouse. I'm using a mouse. So without pressure, there's not going to be any control there. Also, you've got velocity, and also you've got none. But I'm just going to go with brush defaults and just apply it like that. Now you can see it will apply it to that current selected one. So let's just undo all that and just apply again like that. Now if you apply it over here and it's still selected, just apply it like that, it will create a separate curve. Only joins it if it's actually going into it, which I think is a slightly odd feature. I think it would have been nice if you could have actually joined it, but I guess it's a curve, so it's separate, but it would have been nice still. However, let's just undo that. And again, just quickly show you, if you draw it like that, then it is still a single curve. Well, a bit, nothing much there. Well, you can fill it, of course, with a gradient. Let's just go and fill it with a gradient. So you've got a gradient like that, and you can still, of course, continue to use it. So if you want, you could just sort of draw out, design, all kinds of different designs can be created. Maybe not the greatest using a mouse. Now, you can also use, of course, the corner tool. Got a corner tool, let's just go with that one, and you can just select there and just apply the settings here. Let's just change this, change the radius, and you can see you can just tweak it slightly there, and you can of course manipulate it like that as well. Also, you can use this one. So let's just go to the contour tool, and you can see you can draw a contour, draw it in like that or out like that. And now you can apply again this vector blob brush. If I click there and apply it, sometimes, and I found it does seem to generally not take into account that, normally just vanishes. But in this case, it didn't. I think it does in certain behaviours. So let's just quickly go back again to the contour tool and draw it outwards. And now let's just apply the vector blob brush like that. And yeah, strange. During a few run throughs, it didn't seem to work. It actually just ignored the contour. Now it does seem to actually like the contour. Okay, so we got that. So you can see you can use it with other tools. And of course, what you can also do is you've got this option. You can always, with it there selected, you can go to Pixel, down to New Live Filter Layer, and let's just go for something slightly more than a blur. Let's just go for glitch, good old glitch. And this is obviously a new one, recent one that's been added. And I'm going to go with shred so you can actually physically see it. And close that. And I can continue to apply the blob brush. So again, make certain the actual curve is selected. So the curve selected, and now apply again. And you can see the glitch effect obviously works with this blob tool, which I think is quite nice. Does create an interesting, slightly more interesting design than filled pass. Obviously, you can also just go here, and down the bottom there's effects. So click effects, and you can go for, say, 3D, and you can create a 3D design like that. Obviously, you've still got that effect, but I'm just going to go with that. And again, continue to apply your blob. And you can see that blob there. Now it's got 3D and can do that. And if you don't want the effect, let's just remove that. So you can see you've got this blob effect, which still uses the 3D effect as well. Okay, what if you want to remove from this? Personally, I wish they had gone for an option here and just had an erase option here. Would have made more sense. Or maybe have a subtract or whatever option, something like that. Just a button that you could go between add and subtract. Instead, they've gone for an extra tool. I just think, why? Why not just have it set instead of having it separate? So let's just apply the erase. It's using this time the round nozzle, it says, and I can just draw like that, and you can see it cuts through. Basically it's a knife type effect. Now, fortunately, let's see, you can only make it one. So let's just draw it one, and you can see you can just cut through very rapidly like that. But you'll have a slight, obviously, gap produced there. And of course, you may want that. So put it to about 8 there. You can see then, if you do that gap, you can make a slightly more unusual padded effect using this approach. And of course, they're all then, now they are still all part of the same path. So let's just go over here. If I move this around, these parts are not separate. They are still part of the same curve. So with that, let's just go back again to the vector arrays and add some more and increase that to, say, a bit more so you can actually see it. And you can then, of course, make all kinds of weird and wonderful sort of cut throughs like that to add some very distressed. And now, of course, what you can also do is just use it by just cutting in. So if you want to, just cut in to the design just like that, so you can see, maybe create little sort of notches into your shape. Again, creating some more interest. Now let's just apply it in the center as well, so you can see if you want. Let's just do that. So actually, even better, let's just draw a completely separate thing. I was just going to try it. I haven't tried this. Let's just go for it. Vector erase brush. And you can see you can use it for that as well. So you can use it, of course, not just with itself, but with other paths. So that's a really useful, quick addition feature, which I must admit I hadn't thought about testing out and trying until just then. So let's just go there, and again, let's just go over here to the bottom here of effects, click there, and 3D, and you can see the 3D effect is still taken into account, and maybe add an outer shadow as well, and so on. Now another thing you can of course do is, you notice I've got here pass brushes at the side. You can then just, with that selected, you can just apply a pass brush. I've been showing the round one, but there's also a square one as well. It's not just round. Well, what you can do, just go over here to the blob brush, context tool, and then click, and you can add a square. You can also, of course, create lines. So let's just apply a line, and you can see you get like that. But I think with the square brush, holding down the shift creates some interesting designs. So hold down the shift and draw, and you can see it's a straight line there, and release. So you get that. And now, if you draw another one, you will get obviously a separate one because it creates a new curve. But if you go across the other way, obviously go row there, you can create something like that. And draw again, and draw again, and draw again, and so on. So you can build up and create a very complex grid super quick. But also what you can do is you can resize this. So let's just reduce that down to 33 and draw again, and you get that. Now, what you can also do is you can go with diagonals and go that way. So you can see you can do that as well. It's not just up and down, left to right, etc. It is also diagonal as well when you're using the shift key. And with this, you can also use the erase. Let's just go over here and select the vector erase brush. With that, you can then just drag through, and that will cut through it. But even more interesting, let's just quickly go here, select the move tool, and go down here, effects, 3D, radius, and maybe outer shadow. And with that, click close, and I'm just going to rotate it. You can obviously create different designs that way because you can then continue to apply the blob. It's still a blob brush feature. So again, let's just go back here and vector blob brush and continue to draw down like that. But if you use the erase, just go to a vector erase. Now let's just reduce that down, just make it about 20 or something like that. And then just simply click. And you can see then, now it's very hard actually because of the way it's done. It's very, it's gone for, put it back to the round. No, just put it to the square. I was going to think that looks more round than square. So let's just increase that, and you can see it a bit clearer. And click there, and you can see then you get the square added. And you can create all kinds of cut throughs like that. Now you don't have to, of course, apply it in the center. You can always just apply it slightly off like that. So you can create some abstract cuts like that. And maybe cut there, and it's a great way of creating really some quite unique designs. And again, you can still use all these other tools, things like this one, contour tool, and just drag there. You can see as you do that, or you can go inwards like that and create again another quite unique shape. Now let's just go back here to the vector blob brush tool and continue to apply. And you can see literally all kinds of unique shapes and designs can be created like that. Very abstract shape, I think. Well, I think that's a really quite nice addition to 3.2. Not one I was really expecting. Suddenly out of the blue, suddenly there's an update. I thought, yay! I love an update for an application. I mean, there's still zillions of things that I would love to see updated in Affinity. Lots of things that would be great to add. But still, the blob brush is one that I really quite like. And it's a real nice tool to have. I mean, it was in Illustrator. It is in Illustrator, I should say. I used it a lot in Illustrator, and it was one of my favourite tools, actually. It was one that actually didn't get much enthusiasm when my videos, I did quite a few videos on the blob tool, and I was quite surprised that I never got much interest. Other tools got lots of interest, the Blob brush didn't, and I hope that's not the case with Affinity, because I think it's a great tool. It can be combined with lots of other things, especially like the raise with pass. I haven't tried it even with things like type. It's possible it works well with lots of other things, maybe for creating frame designs, all those sort of things. At the moment, I think it's got potential, and I will be exploring, and of course we'll be creating a few more videos about the Blob brush and of course the Erase Blob brush as well. However, there are of course a few other minor additions and quite useful ones as well, and I will be going through those in another video as well. One of them is colour fonts, and I really quite like colour fonts. I think they're great for all kinds of different designs. Wish I could actually create a colour font. It's one of those things that I've never explored. I'm certain there's tools to actually do that, but still. Okay, so we got this vector a blob brush. It is such a sort of hard one to say, vector blob brush. I think maybe that's why. It's always a tool that's always I struggle with occasionally, just purely because of the name, not the actual tool's functionality, which I think is quite easy to use and should be useful to create all kinds of unique designs. So, your thoughts? Do you think this is a great feature? Do you think it's not really necessary at all? I mean, is it a pointless release? Would you have loved to have seen something else? Please put in the comments what sort of things would you love to see in Affinity 3.3. I assume maybe there'll be a new release for 3.3 at some point. It was, like I say, a bit of a shock to see the 3.2 today. I thought, And I actually did search for what's new, and I couldn't find anything about it, so I was quite surprised. So it was nice to actually find that there was another tool. One thing, if you've modified your Vector Studio at any point, it will come up and prompt you about the actual change. So it will put, obviously, the thing. If you don't actually go with it, you've still got the tool. Of course, you can still customize. It is still going to be there in Affinity. It's not going to be not there if you accidentally say, I don't want that. I've got my customization and I'm happy with it. Likewise, with the publisher side of things, it's got that as well. I did also notice there were a few other minor changes as well. So those things I will go through as well in a future video. Bye.